Good morning, Colfax, and welcome back to CTV's This Show for December 3rd. We hope you enjoyed a restful break and are ready to make a strong push to close out the first semester.
This week, we wrestle with the question, do resumes matter? Look into Mr. Lundberg's unique relationship with the school, explore the mystical world of D&D, and Bethany takes you around the PVL.
Welcome to the show.
The Bring Change to Mind Club is dedicated to opening the conversation about the struggles teens face and to creating supportive spaces. With that mission in mind, they have been preparing a series of upcoming events.
The first event scheduled for the week of December 9th is the poster contest themed around Falcons as Family. Prizes will be awarded to the winning submissions.
The Bring Change to Mind Club also has a stress toy scavenger hunt planned for just before finals. If you get anxious around this time of year, listen for more details about this and get out, have some fun, and reduce your stress at the same time.
Thanks to the Bring Change to Mind Club, these activities help remind us that we need to take care of ourselves and that all teens face multitudes of challenges and that we are not alone.
Teens and the world of work have always had a relationship. Getting a job can be essential to meeting demanding financial needs like operating a car, helping with household expenses, or at minimum being able to afford a social life. Reporter Lauren Maynard explored a key tool to employment, the resume.
Resumes, an obsolete assignment or a real-life reality? I spoke with Assistant Superintendent of Schools, Colleen Slattery, to get her opinion.
I don't feel that it's obsolete. It's used all the time. I work for the Placer County Office of Education. It's a requirement for all of our job postings, and I think there's real value.
The next wave of potential employees definitely has a strong online presence. Does that change how they feel about the traditional resume? Sophie Wolf believes we should go paperless, as everything's just online now. She might be right. 87% of employers use LinkedIn to vet for new hires. Should the modern applicant use social media in place of a resume?
I don't feel it's an acceptable substitute. I think there could be value. I have a LinkedIn profile solely for work, but I don't feel it is. There's some caution, I would say, in using social media, as a lot of things can be put out there.
So the resume is not dead, at least not yet. However, as technology advances, it may eventually become obsolete. If you plan on applying anywhere, it's always good to have an updated resume. Reporting for CTV with camera op Wyatt Graves and editor Lucian Shelton, I'm Lauren Maynard, signing off.
Okay, Lindsey, you work. Did you use a resume to get your job?
Yes.
And then I used a resume to get my job at Mod Pizza. So as far as this anchor desk is concerned, the resume is still relevant.
Schools are living, breathing communities. Despite sharing the same common goal of educating students, it's the people that make them unique. Reporter Chloe Bigley with camera operator Gabriel Piette have this story on perhaps the most influential person on a campus.
Colfax High School is one of the top schools in sports, academics, arts, career, and service. But it doesn't just come from the students. It all stems from our principal.
I think most importantly, I just want kids to be able to have one last chance at being kids, because you become adults and you kind of lose that sense of what it means to be a kid, and high school is that last chance, and I love hanging out with kids.
Mr. Stowers taught at Colfax High School for 10 years before pursuing a head football coaching job that led him to Del Oro High School and Wood Creek High School. He is back at Colfax after experiencing multiple principals and appreciates Mr. Lundberg's unique focus on culture.
I think what separates Mr. Lundberg is he puts culture ahead of everything else at a school, with the vision that everything else will follow, where he develops strong relationships with students, staff, and the community, and you can see that when he's at plays, at football games, or during rallies. So that's his ability to have a vision of what a culture at a school should look like, and then his ability to form connections that will help build that vision.
Even after being in education for nearly 30 years and at Colfax for 6 years, Mr. Lundberg still has a passion to make this school a better place and has a hard time distinguishing what his favorite part of Colfax is.
It's hard to say there's a favorite part because there's so many great things about the school, but I would say my favorite part that I like to get involved in is with kids. I don't like to sit in my office all day. I'd way rather be in classrooms hanging out with kids.
Overall, Colfax wouldn't be the same place if it weren't for Lundberg. Students may be a little bit more disconnected, or staff may not have as much spirit. But with all of us working together, it'll create a positive environment where we can all flourish. Reporting to you from Colfax High School, I'm Chloe Bigley.
Thank you, Chloe. And on the topic of campus connections, this week is full of opportunities. The second annual Smash Brothers tournament kicks off today in the Learning Commons. Players, please make your way to the Learning Commons as quickly as you can, and the match play will start as soon as possible.
Anybody is welcome to come to the Learning Commons to watch the tournament action unfold. This Friday, the action will be in the Poochie Pavilion when the seniors take on the staff in the annual Canned Food Drive basketball game. Seniors, sign-ups will be in the Poochie Pavilion foyer today through Thursday, so get your team of 5 together and get signed up.
Seniors, don't forget to bring at least 1 can per player to the game. Your shout-outs keep pouring in, and if we need to, we'll start adding them to the bulletin. So keep them coming, and here's this week's Shout It Out.
Shout it out.
This shout-out came in for sophomore Rhea Simpson. Rhea never fails to make her friends smile. She is caring, generous, and someone you can always count on to help a friend in need.
Shout it out.
This shout-out came in for senior Sophie Lazarde. Sophie is super supportive and fun to be around. She will always stick by her friend's side through thick and thin.
Shout it out.
This shout-out came in for Mrs. Ortega. Mrs. Ortega strives to make personal connections with her students both inside and outside of class. She's always super caring, and her students know they can always go to her for support. Talking with Mrs. Ortega will always put you in a good mood.
Thanks again for all your submissions. While we were enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday, many of our athletes had to balance the rigors of preparing for state championship practices and even launching their seasons with preseason games. Bethany Gadway has it all covered in Around the PVL.
Welcome back to CTV Sports. This week, we connect with girls basketball team, hit the pitch with the boys soccer team, and get the results from the cross-country state championship. Let's go. On Saturday, November 30th, both boys and girls cross-country teams ran in the state championship, and in an event this big, the story's in the details. In the boys' race that featured over 200 of the best runners in the state, Billy Groth laid down the 6th fastest cross-country time ever recorded by a Colfax runner and cracked the 17-minute mark in his final run as a high schooler. Young guard Jacob Colster kept his dream season going by cracking the Colfax historical top 20, and both runners tracked down to beat the Sac Joaquin section's fastest runner from only 2 weeks ago. Freshman Noah Starbuck recorded the 3rd fastest Colfax time, and with solid runs by sophomore Garrett Reinhold, freshman Logan Biddle, sophomore Daniel Bittner, and sophomore Toby Howard, the team finished 18th in the state. Needless to say, the future is bright for the league and section championship boys team, with 6 of the 7 runners returning next season. In the girls' race, senior Emma Sanders completed her stellar high school career with the top Colfax finish and was followed by 2 freshmen, Gabby Bittner and Mari Ziegler. The remainder of the team, including Kara Dearson, Madeline Kramer, Yazda Cogger, and Grace LeBuddy, finished within 1 minute of each other and combined ended the season 22nd among the nearly 500 schools eligible in the state. Gabby Bittner, the girls' fastest runner, will return next year along with 4 others. This year's section and league championship is the odds-on favorite to repeat next season. As the cross-country team ends their long and successful season, winter sports are starting to heat up. Reporter Charlie Satterlee with camera op Kylie Powell spent some time with the defending PVL champion girls basketball team to get the winter sports preview.
The winter season is here, and that means the girls basketball team has started preparing for their season. The defending PVL champions have 5 returning starters, which makes them a favorite to defend their title. I caught up with assistant coach Rex Simpton to see how our girls will approach the season.
I'd say the PVL's a little bit down this year. I would say Marysville was young last year, so they will have a good group of girls. I think Bear River's down, but I think that they always come ready to play against us, and they have their previous coach back, so they could be a challenge.
An annual goal for this program is to win league and make a run to the section championships. Senior captain Grace Bliss explained the tactics for their season.
Well, last year we had a really easy league, and this year we will too, but we scheduled a really hard preseason this year, and we have 4 games during league, so that it'll help us for playoffs and prepare us better than last year.
While the starting lineup is all veterans, the supporting cast will be seeing varsity action for the first time. Grace Bliss knows what it will take to be successful.
We're really young. I'm the only senior, and then we have the other 4 starters are all juniors, and then we have 3 freshmen, and that's it. We're small, but we're super fast, and we play really aggressive defense, so I'm not really worried, but yeah, a lot to learn and a lot to develop.
The girls basketball team will start their quest to repeat tonight at the Pucci Pavilion when they start their challenging preseason against rival Placer. Reporting for CTV, I am Charlie Satterlee.
Coach Simpson wasted no time scheduling a tough opponent early as the Lady Falcons will face off against rival Placer tonight in the Pucci Pavilion. Wear pink and let's get the winter nest season going. If you don't have time to get home for dinner, no problem. The snack bar will be serving a homemade pulled pork sandwich dinner. As most of our winter sports move indoors to avoid the weather, our boys soccer team grabs a few extra layers and heads outside to take on the elements. Reporter Chelan Ackerman with camera op Andrew Drysdale hit the pitch with this winter sports preview.
With cold weather comes boys soccer, and this year's varsity team has been hard at work preparing for the upcoming season. Contrary to last year, the team saw a huge amount of new players, and with 14 incoming freshmen, the program will have a JV team for the first time in a few years. We caught up with varsity players Cannon Tomlin and Ben Schwartz to get their perspective on the upcoming varsity season.
We got a lot of incoming freshmen that played on club teams, so they have some experience and they're enthusiastic to play, so hopefully they give us an advantage that we didn't have last year.
With 5 freshmen on varsity this year, the boys are hoping the new depth on their team will help them find success in the PVL. Reporter Chelan Ackerman caught up with freshman Cannon Tellman to see what he's looking forward to this varsity season.
This season, I'm most excited to play at a higher physical level. I haven't played high school soccer before, so I think it's going to be really fun and just a different experience from what I've had before.
We also got a chance to speak with varsity coach Chris Alcala, who's been doing the thing he loves for 35 years. He told us what he thinks the team needs to be successful in the PVL.
We got to have heart, we got to give quality effort on the field, and we got to be willing to learn, have a good attitude, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, I would say the top teams would be Center High School and Foothill High School. Yeah, and other than that, I think I'm really pleasantly surprised on how decent we are this year. Actually, who knows? I think we might surprise some people, in a real good way, so I'm pretty excited about this.
The boys' soccer team is looking promising, and with new talent and returning players, the boys just might come back and turn heads in the PVL. With CTV Sports, I'm Gabriel Piette reporting on behalf of Chelan Ackerman and editor Andrew Drysdale.
Thanks to all our reporters and camera ops for the Winter Sports Preview Series. Our boys basketball team got their season off to a good start this past Friday as they won a very entertaining game against Woodland, 51-45. They will be back in action on the road at Golden Sierra tonight. That's all I have for you this week, Colfax. I'm Bethany Gadway, and I'll see you in the nest in pink tonight for a Colfax versus Placer showdown.
Thank you, Bethany. Believe it or not, some of those holiday practices are the most fun because it's the rare time when that's your only school activity.
There are countless opportunities to connect on campus, and clubs provide a great way to explore new things, dig into existing passions, and spend time with other students of all different ages and interests. Reporter Dom Hererra got out to the new Dungeons & Dragons Club to see what they're about.
Bonds aren't exactly a thing that influences your character's personality.
D&D Club is a mystical place full of interesting and different people who are exploring or are already experienced in a non-traditional board game where you can be whoever or wherever you want.
Well, D&D, or Dungeons & Dragons as its full name is a role-playing game where you get to go on your own adventure.
D&D is not like a traditional board game. Players get to be the voice of their own characters and determine exactly what their character does. Players also get to create their own story for their character, including their character's strengths and weaknesses.
You're all working together to create a story. So whether it's going and saving someone from a dragon, I know that's really stereotypical, but it's an example, it can happen. Or saving a town from a band of goblins that are trying to steal everything. Or it can even be trying to break your friend out of prison because they did something stupid to the town's guard. So stuff like that.
D&D is full of creativity, and you can really make the game yours.
You and your friends get to go and make your own stories, make your own memories, and be someone else for a little while. You get to make your own characters and just overall, just go on an adventure and have fun.
The creator of D&D Club is Sam Jameson. He started it because of his passion of D&D and his knowledge of the game, and he hopes to pass his information on to other people and encourage more people to explore this magnificent board game.
I start to see more and more people might like it and seeing the potential there. So I want to teach people because I've got a bunch of D&D knowledge, I've got a bunch of books to help me teach other people.
If you are interested in joining or stopping by for an otherworldly experience, D&D Club meets every Thursday in Miss Bruce's room 109, at lunch. Reporting from the mystical world of D&D for CTV, I'm Dominic Hererra.
Doing whatever you want and dragons, that definitely sounds like a fun club.
That's all we have for you today, Colfax. Next week, our reporters get off campus and look into the regional occupation program and follow some students who are exploring careers in education at Colfax Elementary. Until then, I'm Lindsey Tellman.
And I'm Autania Mierow. Have a good day, Colfax.